guys, Jeremy here. Today we're just going to do a quick 30 to a minute of maintenance on this Aquascape planted tank. I've come in this morning. Obviously we've been out of the studio for a few days. There's a bit of algae on the glass. As you can see, it's evaporated. The filter's dragging in a bit of air as well. I can hear it slurping, so we want to sort that. So I'm just going to start by wiping the algae. That's the first thing after checking the fish. Just going to use an algae magnet, also known as an algae scraper or a magnet scraper. Dead easy. Going to select the right one for the glass thickness. So this glass is 10mm, so we've just got a kind of a medium sized algae magnet. This one's got a blade with it as well, so blades are good for kind of stubborn algae, and it's reversible as well, so it's got like a velcro pad on the opposite side just for soft stuff, and then as I say, I use the blade for the stubborn stuff. Just hover it over the soil. Soil's quite light, so I don't want to disturb it too much because it's just going to make a mess and cloud the water. So I'm just going left to right, top to bottom. And if this was normal gravel in the tank, I'd be really careful not to get any gravel between the two magnets, because they're going to scratch the glass if you drag that magnet across and it's got gravel or sand in it. Just a little bit to do there, and you can turn that upside down. You can turn corners with it as well. Okay, that's all wiped. I'm just gonna, you might pick that up. I'll just turn the corner. There we go. See that? So simple as that. Park that in the back there, and then some water, dechlorinator. That's Swell dechlorinator. Just going to put a capful into this bucket on the floor. So every time we remove some water, every time we replace some, every time we top up, if we're using tap water, you've got to use a dechlorinator because there's chlorine in the tap water. The chlorine's bad for the fish and it's bad for the beneficial filter bacteria. So put a dechlorinator in always. It's dead easy. Normally it's about a capful per bucket, but always read the instructions. Slosh it about. You can overdo it a little bit as well. It doesn't matter, you can overdose it. And then we're just going to pour it in like so. I'm going to pour it, that's handy. I'm pouring it onto this rock. If I pour it straight onto the soil, the force of the water is probably just going to move the soil. So I'm just going to pour it onto this rock, and the plants and the rock are just going to take some of the force out of that flow of water that I'm putting in. And that's topped up the tank a little bit. Now most of the aquascaping guys, they top it right up. The only thing I would say is when it's really full, when you put your arm in to do maintenance, it tends to overflow. So I'm going to put another bucket in after this, but I'm probably going to leave certainly half an inch, maybe an inch at the top there. And now I can see the surface skimmer is working as it should be. The filter outlet is now catching up. Purge some air out of it. This one's an Oasis filter, and I'm just priming it. So it's dragged in air in the few days we've been away. There we go, it's just catching up now. Now it's just going to rid those bubbles, and I'll get one more bucket and I'm done. I've got my second bucket of tap water, mainly cold water, a little bit of warm from the tap, dechlorinator always, another capful, slosh that about. And I'm using tap water. Tap water doesn't matter too much, things like nitrate and phosphate in a planted tank, a heavily planted tank like this, because the plants actually soak up the nitrate and phosphate. So it's less of an issue than in like a normal community tank where phosphates can be a bit of a worry and linked to algae. But second bucket going in, exactly the same as before. That's better. So that's within an inch of the top, which is what I aimed for. Shut the cabinet. Re-stick the thermometer so I can check that. Reset the surface skimmer. Got it. So all those bubbles are gone now. So that was making a kind of a slurping sound, and now that's back to being silent. Fish look happy. I might just neaten up this soil line. You want it nice and flat at the front. And then the next maintenance I do, I'll probably give it a partial water change, a filter clean, and I'll combine that with trimming the plants as well. Me again. I nearly forgot one of the most important parts, plant food. So heavily planted tanks like this, they get by on a combination, well, they succeed on a combination of a good substrate, carbon dioxide, good lighting, and a good liquid plant food. So I'm going to put this in. This is a 240 litre tank. I need 10ml per 80 litres, so I need 30ml, which is this full cup. Give the bottle a shake, fill that up. plenty of it, and pour it in. Distribute evenly. You can pour it in where there's a filter flow, so that will distribute it across the top of the tank. And we're all done until next time.